So you want to set up a behavioral intervention in EduClimber. Just like with academic interventions, we do this easily from the Interventions tab. We're going to click New, select an intervention, and find our student. We'll click Add, and we'll say for this it's a Tier 2 intervention, but instead of picking literacy or math, this time we'll pick behaviors. In here we have a couple of common interventions. First, for the Tier 2 level, we have many programs that we might put a student into, like CHAMPS, Character Strong, Second Step, Skill Streaming, the Tough Kid Toolbox, or Zones of Regulation, that simply track when the student is receiving them. For something like skill streaming, we can say this is when the student is attending, and here's what we did with them. I'll show you that when we get to taking attendance for interventions. But today I want to focus on three particular areas: behavior tracking, replacement behaviors to increase, behavior tracking, target behaviors to decrease, and check-in checkouts. These interventions come with very specific point tracking sheets. So let's talk about our behaviors we want our students to increase. When we click Add, we say this is when the student is going to be working on this. For behaviors to increase, it's more that we're setting a reminder for the teacher to keep track of this data. Now this is where it starts to differ from the academic interventions. For periods, we select how many times do we want this to be scored throughout the day. So for example, in an elementary classroom, I might say, have the teacher do a morning check-in on their point sheet. I can just say do this in the AM. At high school or middle school level, I might say, well, the period 2, 4, and 5 teachers should be measuring this, so I would select those three options. Or I can select all day for this student. This will ask for a score once a day. And now I pick the expectations that I would like to work on. So remember, these are behaviors to increase. You should be doing this in conjunction with your school psych, with your school counselors, but you're picking the interventions that we are tracking for that student. So for this student, we're saying we want them to interact appropriately with their peers. We want them to raise their hand to speak. We want them to follow classroom expectations and to appropriately gain attention from others. We click Add, and then we click Save to schedule this intervention. See that the intervention has been successfully created, and now I can go to score that intervention.